Okay, I'm back. Hey, how's it going? You doing all right tonight? Yes, it is. We got a week vacation anyway.
All right, now you guys should be able to hear me. So, slight hiccup there, but you guys heard Nick, so you know we're back. We were just saying that we're excited to be back after having a week break here with the third race being postponed. But we're back. We're excited. We're gonna be racing in Zandvoort, and yeah, Nick, do you got any guys you got your eye on tonight?
Well, I think, of course, you're going to have to watch out for Borden, the guy on the pole. He's going to be really fast tonight. I think Christopher Greer will be really good too. And then, of course, in the GT4 class, you got Harrison Lynn. He seems to be dominating that class.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. We have not seen someone that has taken the fight as consistently this season to Robin Borden. We have seen Charles Saylor and Clark Muller, who have really put up a strong fight, but I think that Robin so far has been the dominant leader so far in season 4, and as we saw as well in season 3, he definitely came in mid season and put up a fight and just was consistent and definitely fast. By the way, let's keep our eye there on Christopher Greer, who told us before the race that he does not enjoy starting from the back, but that he does enjoy passing. So if you were here last week, you might know what we're talking about there.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch tonight.
All right, so it looks like we are approaching the line here. Let's go ahead and get a bird's eye view as the race begins, and we are green, racing in Zandvoort tonight. So far, it looks like Charles Saylor is getting a lead there on Robin Borden. Robin Borden maintaining the inside. It looks like he overcooked it there into turn 1, but he's able to move it into the outside. He's going to position himself onto the inside of turn 3. It looks like Charles is fighting it back. They do make a little bit of contact. It looked inevitable there. Unfortunately for Robin Borden, that is going to push him back. Making contact with Clark Muller, Luca Conti, Christopher Greer. That was intense so far in our first event tonight.
Wow, a lot of excitement real early tonight. We've already got Mr. Warmington has got a drive-through penalty. They might have got him speeding.
That's unfortunate. It's Steve Fisher going off a little wide through turn 8. Apologies on the turn numbers. They might not be correct as the names are a lot harder to pronounce.
Yeah, I found it to be very difficult as well.
Charles Saylor, after that contact with Borden at the start of the race, he is maintaining a good lead now from Christopher Greer running in second. Clark Muller, having found some amount of traction that he was able to return, he is maintaining his position in P3, so that's good on him. Somebody who's moved up there is Clark Jonathan Corkle, who we have not seen this high up on the grid as he's being chased down by Luca Conti. Luca going a bit wide. Robin Borden moving down to P6, followed by Nick Smoley. It almost looks like the grid is in a different order than we've normally seen.
Yeah, with that chaos at the beginning, I think they've got it straightened out. Borden is now in 6th place, so he'll be looking to get back to the lead.
Christopher Greer defending from the rest of the pack at the moment in P2. Clark Muller's close behind him as he's still followed by Jonathan Corkle, Luca Conti, and Robin Borden. Heading on further down the grid, Nick Smoley, followed by what looks to be Aiden Benitez. Slight change in livery there, Aiden, but we got you, fam. As Jean Carlos is close behind him in the Porsche.
Noticed a couple new names tonight. We got some first-time joiners tonight.
We do, and if you notice, a lot of them have chosen the Lamborghini. Something we mentioned last time was kind of not a favorite in ACC.
Yeah, I think it takes a special kind of person to really like that car.
Giancarlo and Aiden fighting it out as they go through turn 13. James Turnbull close behind Carter Close. Heading back up with the leaders. So far, Charles in his own race. Clark Muller, not enough room yet to make a move on Christopher Greer. Very tight through turn 1. So far, everybody's keeping their pace. It doesn't seem like there's been much action yet on track. But I think as the track events it begins to develop, we're going to see a couple more overtakes as everyone's running pretty close to each other.
Yeah, Zandvoort's a real narrow track. It's hard to pass on too. So we should see a lot of close racing and hopefully not too many wrecks. Look back at the GT4s. Harrison Lynn he's starting to break away from Jeffrey Bray now, who is 2nd in class with the GT4s.
Oh, and it looks like we have an accident there. That is going to be a little tricky to find out. It seemed like it was a red and white Porsche who had spun out.
Tim Dimitri.
Oh, man.
His first name is Tim, right?
Yeah, yes, it is Tim.
Okay. Now, hope I didn't get that messed up.
Let's
yeah,
watch
he is
that
in
back.
the pits.
And it looks like we are, there it is. So he was behind an Audi, whom I'm familiar with at the moment. I can't really see his number there. So far, so good through turn 3. Up, and there it is. Audi was a little too heavy on the throttle and unfortunately spun out into Tim Dimitri. As we see Jeremiah Daly, Norbert Perdorsky get past. Which, did you say Martin Warmington had a penalty at the start?
Yeah, he got a drive-through penalty right as the green flag went down.
That would explain why he was running in the back with the GT4s. Charles Saylor maintaining his lead in P1. Christopher Greer has now started to lead the pack of Clark Muller and Jonathan Corkle as they've somewhat begun to separate from Luca Conti.
Not sure if Robin Borden had got any damage at the start of the race, but he's now fell back to 8, so he's lost 2 more spots now. Not sure what's going on there.
Looks like Carter Close might be making a move on the inside. Robin Borden still fighting that back on the outside. He's going to be in a prime position if he can keep the pace, but he does not. Unfortunately there for Carter, he does take too much speed into the turn. Joining a bit aggressively there, but he manages to stay out of trouble. Although it looks like Aiden Benitez will be within enough of a slipstream to be able to make an overtake.
Yeah, it's really tough to get a clean pass here at Zandvoort.
James Turnbull having to break a little bit there for P9 and P10.
Now that's allowed Ed Berger and the Bentley to catch up to him now. So now we're looking at a 4-car race for 9th place now.
Vicente da Silva and the other Bentley close behind as well. With that top speed, I wouldn't put it past them to catch up, but unfortunately here with a lack of straights, might be a little hard. It seems like Brian Nagy and Jason Ouellette fighting out for P14. We're gonna quickly move on to that battle.
If I'm not mistaken, Shaw, I believe he's in the GT3. He started very last, even behind the GT4s, and he's already up to 17th. Looks like he's got some good pace.
Rashaw defending. Looks like Adam Baker attempting to make the move, not enough space. Adam Baker is one of our new additions in the Huracan.
They have the lap car of Ty in between them, so they'll have to negotiate the lap car.
I see. That is K-Tie. So pardon there, folks. Pardon, folks. No, pardon, folks. It looks like the Huracans have tricked me today. It is K-Tie behind Raz Shaw as Adam Baker follows closely behind. Leonard Cachola defending from Davin Sturdivant in the back. Heading back up with our leaders. Charles maintaining a good lead. Clark Muller moving up to 2nd place. It seems like something must have happened to Christopher Greer as he's dropped down to 7th place. Jonathan Corkle moving up into P3. Luca Conti defending P4 from Nick Smoley and Giancarlo Lenzi as Christopher Greer trails behind them. You know, Nick, I feel like we haven't had a chance to talk so far. It's been hectic.
Yeah, it started off pretty exciting, didn't it?
It did, and it's kind of spread out a bit now. Giancarlos, unfortunately, catching a bit of sand as Christopher Greer looks like he has advanced. Giancarlo Lenzi one more time, going a little wide. Let's watch that replay and see what happened. So everything was going good as he was behind Nick Smoley. Caught a bit of sand as he went a little wide. This allowed Christopher Greer to get past. It almost looks like Giancarlo Lenzi gave up the position as it seemed that Christopher Greer was more antsy on getting by. It seemed like he didn't fancy to have somewhat of a scuff on track with him, but getting a bit of grass on the tires, that Porsche oversteered, and unfortunately for Giancarlo, that has pushed them out into P8. It's kind of odd that he would let Christopher Greer pass, so, you know, it's possible he just went a little too outside there, that it was not enough for him to be able to handle the car.
Yeah, it's tough to see what these guys are thinking while they're driving. Oh, and Carter Close he gets loose and he hits the wall, and he's going to drop some positions now.
Let's go ahead and head back with Carter as he was crossing the line, followed by James Turnbull into turn 1. So far, so good. Keeping a nice tight line. Past turn 2. Clean so far into turn 3. And it seems like that was the mistake. Either a little too much throttle or just too much curb. Fortunately there for Aiden Benitez and Ed Berger, they were able to stay out of any sort of contact. Aiden Benitez following right behind James Turnbull as they go into turn 12. James Turnbull so far, consistent drive, and he's gained places as the two Bentleys battle it out. Ed Berger now has dropped back a bit. That Vicente de Silva has caught up to him. Two Bentleys fighting for P11. It's time to find out who the better Bentley man is.
Yeah, they'll get that sorted out. And I got to looking, the top 8 drivers, 5 of those are Porsches. So the Porsche seems very fast here at Zandvoort.
Seems like we have a yellow flag up ahead. Wonder who that could have been.
Yeah, I couldn't, I was looking, but I didn't see anything.
It seems like that was the car of Aiden Benitez from what I see here. But that can't be right, so let's just go back and watch this real quick. I don't believe that that's correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
So far, Charles Saylor is maintaining his lead. Clark Muller close behind. And it looks like Jonathan Corkle maintaining that P3 slot. Hopefully he can get a podium for the Lexus Bros tonight.
Yeah, second place he's about 5.5 seconds behind our leader. So with less than 15 minutes to go, he's going to start pushing if he wants to catch him.
Nick Smoley still on the hunt for Luca Conti. As it looks like
I'm really impressed by Nick Smoley tonight. He's made it up to 5th right now, and he's breathing down the neck of Lucas Conti.
Unfortunately for Jeremiah Daly, they're getting caught up in that fight. It looks like Nick Smoley and Christopher Greer were able to get past them all right. That's a good job there by Nick. I think he kind of learned from Brands Hatch with his approach. I believe it was Nick. I might be wrong. I know it was a Porsche that had a little bit of a tough time getting past the GT4.
I'm not sure what's happened to Borden. He might have some damage, but there's none that I can see. But I expected him to at least get back into the top three by now, but he's still holding in seventh, so and his lap times are not as quick. But I don't see any damage on his car except for little scuff marks on the rear.
Somebody we haven't seen much of tonight is Doug Welzel. He normally runs in our top five. It looks like he is lapping Carter close at the moment. Good clean overtake. Carter keeping a good distance but getting a nice toe. Jason Ouellette in P14 still defending the position from Brian Nagy, who is a couple seconds behind him. Sorry, a couple tenths behind him.
Now, a lot of these drivers are starting to get spaced out now.
I think it's going to be a added challenge here in event number 2.
What's your opinion on doing 2 30-minute races as opposed to doing just one 60-minute race?
That's a tough one. I can see the pros where if perhaps event number 1 didn't go your way, it's, there's more incentives to stick around. So you do retain a lot of the drivers who make initial contact, as you can quickly treat event number 1 as just another practice session and really drive hard in event number 2. But I personally like the longer stints. I just find that there is a lot more that can happen on track, and any mistake you make, well, you're a little more careful because you're never looking to, it's okay, I messed up, I'll get it in the next event. While that can be a pro, I think knowing this is my one and only shot kind of amps the driving just a little more. It makes it a little closer, a little tighter, but guys are a little cleaner on track.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I know for me anyway, when you're racing, you got to get into a rhythm. And after having to stop and then do another race seems like it'd pull me out of my rhythm too much. So I prefer the longer stints as well.
Adam Heller at the moment defending from K-Tai. K-Tai still being a lap down. It looks like he was able to get past Rash Shaw. K-Tai being the sandwiched Huracan. Now, as a reminder, the current blue flag rules in this league are as classic GT3 rules, so K-Tai is not under any obligation to let Rash Shaw pass, as it looks like he has a slight faster pace. He's able to keep the position, although in certain corners he is not allowed to defend, which in this kind of a situation, it almost looks like he might slightly be defending the position a bit as Rash Shaw is struggling to get past, but it almost looks like he kind of heard me there and allowed Raz to get by, so maybe we have some sort of mental connection with K-Tai.
Yeah, I think he realized that, if you're trying to hold these faster guys off, it could, more often than not, it's going to end up slowing you down even more. So it's better to just let them go.
Now, going back to our leaders, it looks like we have had a change as Clark Muller has moved up into P1, pushing Charles Saylor into P3.
Wow, how did we miss that?
I have no idea what happened, but Jonathan Corco moves up into P2 for the Lexus Bros. That is interesting. I wonder what could have happened to Charles. Being with a Porsche and a lot of turns, part of me just wants to think he might have overcooked it into a turn, and John and Charles and Clark being close behind had allowed him to move up closer. That's something that we saw a lot in Brands Hatch with the Porsche specifically, where it just is prone to oversteer. And with a heavy foot, you can quickly find yourself in the wall. Moving on down to Charles in third. It does not look like his car has too much damage. A couple scrapes. Nothing crazy. It's possible he could have just lodged it in the sand. 8 minutes left. They might be able to make a move, but he's going to have to get past Dim Dimitri first to make that. Luca Conti chasing down Christopher Greer now as Robin Borden and Nick Smoley fight it out as they pass Norbert Perdorsky. Nick Smoley definitely doing his best to catch up tonight. He's running higher in the grid and he's really pushing that Porsche. As they get past Tim Dimitri there. Tim Dimitri unfortunately is lapped, but it looks like allowing them to pass into that turn there was slightly unsafe, as it looks like Nick does tap a little bit there on Robin Borden. Giancarlo Lenzi close behind Tim Dimitri. Aiden Benitez not too far behind. Gonna keep on moving a little further back, going back to Doug, still fighting it. It looks like Doug has gotten past a couple cars as now Vicente de Silva is running behind him. Vicente de Silva having taken the position from Ed Berger. Further back on the grid. Gonna move on to a couple guys we have not seen much of tonight. Leonard Cachola, Pete Stepani, and Shell Smith fighting it for P18.
Oh, and Conrad Abbott, he gets loose, and he is into the wall.
Let's watch that back here.
He was running top 20.
Conrad fighting with Steve Fisher. So far, it looked like Steve had a much tighter line. Bit a curb, and that just sent him into the wall. Looks like he got out of the way there.
Yeah, I believe he's got a lot of front end damage, so his steering's probably off. Looks like he's going to try to limp it back to the pits, though.
Check it on back with the leaders. Clark Muller running in P1, followed by Jonathan Corkle. Charles Saylor has caught up somewhat, but now Christopher Greer is on the hunt for that third slot. You know, Nick, I think this is one of the first times that we see Christopher Greer not starting from the back in event number 1.
Yeah, he said he liked passing cars, but he's running 4th now, and Lucas Conti is about a half a second behind him. And I'm afraid I might lose internet service here. For some reason, my ping is jumping up real high.
Oh, that's a shame, Nick. With 4 minutes left, though, I think you got enough time.
Yeah.
It's I don't think it's quite high as last night. I remember we had a driver with I believe it was like 1800 ping.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can get any connection to the server with that ping.
Nick Smoley attempted a move on Robin Borden, and it was not enough on the outside. Looks like he attempted a bit of a switchback, but it was not enough as Robin Borden was able to quickly defend the line.
Looking back up front here, Jonathan Corkle's just a little over a second behind our leader. He might try to run him down here with 3.5 minutes to go. Might be a good battle to watch for. And Nick Smoley has gotten by Robin Borden.
Oh, fantastic job there. Let's go ahead and quickly catch that. And it looks like he did it into the straight and then defended on the inside there from Robin. So fantastic move there by Nick.
He had been trying for several laps now, so I think he knew when he could make his move, and he made a good clean overtake.
Clark Muller maintaining his lead so far over this race. Jonathan Corkle still on the hunt with 2 minutes left. It is possible that he'll have enough pace to be able to catch up. We have yet to see much of a battle between these two drivers as well as these two cars. We have not seen a Lexus run this high up so far.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job tonight.
Quickly checking on Harrison Lynn as he maintains first place in the GT4s from Jeff Bray. Jeremiah Daly running in P3 as it
Another
looks.
guy.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say another guy we haven't mentioned tonight is Ed Berger. He is up in 13th. Looks
Yeah,
like
it
he's
looked
got
like
a pretty good run going.
it looked like he lost out to Vicente da Silva there. Last we saw them, I believe the order was switched around.
Yeah, now he has to get by the lap car of Tim Dimitri, but he's losing a lot of time to Silva for that. And Leonard Cachola in 18th. I'm surprised by him as well. I figured he would run higher than this.
It looks like Steve is getting past Leonard. And he makes the overtake. Great job there by the Lexus bro. But it looks like Lucky Leonard is close behind. You know, I don't know if he likes the nickname, but I think it fits. Oh, and look, he was pretty lucky there. He caught the oversteer. So Leonard, I dub you, sir, Lucky Leonard. It is sticking forever now.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We'll just call him Mr. Lucky.
Speaking of misters, where is Mr. Universe tonight? Going into P34, Carter Close.
Is 34th. Yep.
Looks like he's caught up there with a bit of the GT4 traffic. Let's hope in event number 2 we'll see him run a little higher. As we are on the final lap, so let's check back here with Clark Muller. Defending the position from Jonathan Corkle, although it doesn't seem like he's doing too much defending as the gap is pretty big. You know, I think even with a second place finish, that's going to be Jonathan Corkle's highest finish so far of this season.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty happy with that.
As we move into turn 14 on the final lap. You think it'll make him want it more?
Yeah, I was going to say second race it's going to make him want it more in the second race. So we're liable to see him really push it hard in the second race.
And there it is, Clark Muller finishing in P1, followed by Jonathan Corkle, Charles Saylor, and Christopher Greer in P4. Fantastic race, guys. Luca Conti maintaining to defend the position there from Nick Smoley in P6. Robin Borden having fallen back from P1 and P7, as we have Aiden Benitez in P8, followed by Giancarlo Lenzi in P9 as he almost lost it there a little bit. Pardon, it looks like that was a lap car there by Doug. James Turnbull in P11. Oh, nope, not a lap car. Doug P10. Pardon there, Doug. Vicente P12. Ed Berger coming in P13 as Dimitri gets by, but he's a lap car. Jason Olette P14. Davin's third event. Second of the Lexus Bros tonight, coming in P15. As he's followed by, it looks like he was followed by K-Tai. Moving back on down. Pete Stepani, P16. Steve Fisher rounding it out for the Lexus Trio in P17. Lucky Leonard coming in P18 as he's followed by Norbert Podorski in the GT4. Shell Smith defending off what looks to be, I think that's K-Tai. Unfortunately for K-Tai, he was lapped.
And it looks like Harrison Lynn is going to get another win in the GT4 class with Jeffrey Bray finishing second.
Fantastic job there by Harrison Lynn. Martin Warmington, P21. It looks like our grid is getting a little out of order as we have a huge pack coming in. Rob Ruggiero, P22. P23 is Thomas Knudsen in the GTR. And there he is, Adam Baker, P24. It's a mighty finely big list. It kind of takes the whole final lap there to be able to call out all these guys. We're just going to quickly scroll through the list so we can see here. Harrison Lynn finishing first for the GT4 class, followed by Jeffrey Bray in P29, but second place for the GT4s with Jeremiah Daly in third, John Correa fourth, and Norbert Podorski rounding out with the GT4s. And it looks like we have some of our unfortunate cars there who caught a bit of damage. Tim Dimitri, K-Tai. We did not see much of Brown, I don't think. And it looks like, unfortunately, Chase Goodall did disconnect. But let's hope we see a return from him. I believe this was his first event. What'd you think of event number 1, Nick?
It had a little bit of everything, didn't it? A little excitement at the beginning, battles throughout. Thought it was a good race.
It was definitely crazy. I think the start definitely set us up a bit there, where we had a huge amount of congestion into the, what would that be, third turn, and I think we kind of had a bit of a wind down as after the first lap there, where we've kind of seen somewhat of the opposite in previous races, where we've had a bit of excitement at the start, and then we have a somewhat of a slow build up, but always a triumphant finish. I think Zandvoort is just a tricky track, and I think that's pretty evident with what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough track. Now, then you're gonna mix in some multi-class races too with GT4s. It can get hectic out there, but I was really surprised that on the first lap had all that chaos.
Yeah,
And that
especially with
seemed to
it
hurt
being
Robin
Robin.
Borden. Yeah, it
Yeah,
seemed to hurt him real bad because
it's
he ended up finishing seventh.
oh, look, yes, okay, perfect. We are able to watch it back. So, Nick, if you want to join into the replay there, let's go ahead and watch that one more time. Although I don't think it's doesn't seem like it's doing much, so I don't think we're able to watch it, unfortunately. There,
Yeah, I'm not able to watch it either.
I'm gonna go ahead and save it. So stick around after event number 2, and we'll have a look back at that. Hopefully, it all worked out. But we are lined up back on the grid, so I'm sure Robin's glad to be back in that first slot.
Yeah, he's looking for redemption in a second race, I'm sure. I'm gonna take me a quick break. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Yeah, so that was definitely an interesting race for sure. I think at least for me, I think the initial excitement set me up on a high there. So hopefully we see somewhat of a reverse from what we usually see, where we have event number 2 being a lot more chaotic. At least I'm gonna go bold prediction moment. Or at least hopeful prediction moment is we see a little bit more clinical driving at the start. We see the drivers maintaining their distance, keeping it tight, but not sending it too much. And then hopefully that sets us up for the rest of the race where we're able to keep position and maintain a good distance for passing, as this track, as we've seen, is pretty difficult to find some space to be able to make a clean overtake. And it looks like the formation is about to get started here. Robin Borden being the first to come off the line. I wonder what is going on through his head at the moment. Nick mentioned that he's looking for redemption, and I definitely agree. Although it's kind of, I wonder what is going to be going on, not so much through his mind, but through the mind of this man, Charles Saylor. We saw that initial contact with Robin. It's hard to say if anybody was at fault. It looked more like it was just a racing incident between two aggressive drivers attempting to fight for the lead. So, I mean, it's definitely what we all aim to see in motorsport, good, aggressive racing. I think the track is really what caught these guys out, as it's, it doesn't look like it's the most friendliest of places. But another thing is, with this being, I guess, their first time on track battling on this track, it's kind of hard to know where it is the other driver will send it to. They have shared the track in practice and quality, but being out in the race, it's always different. It definitely kind of shows you the different dynamics of each driver. And so I think this time around they're gonna be a little more careful, but I think even more with Charles, I think he has a better understanding of Robin and his driving style. And as we progress through the season, we've seen these guys run closer to each other. So I do think that the rivalry has been set. I think now it's just a matter of learning a little bit more on a deeper level of the other driver to be able to send it confidently in such tracks and in such circumstances. And fortunately there for Christopher Greer, again, he's able to maintain his position. So we got our eye on you, Chris. Hopefully you enjoy a couple overtakes there from the leaders. Jonathan Corkle, that was a fantastic stint by him as he moved up into the second position from fifth. So I think that's a great win there for the Lexus Bros. It looked like, unfortunately for Steve Fisher, he did get caught out and moved back a couple positions as he started sixth right behind his, what I like to call his pseudo teammate, Jonathan Corkle. We are approaching turn 15 as we are about to come down the straight. Hopefully Nick joins us soon.
Yeah, I made it back.
Oh, there he is. I was going to say, we're going to raise a glass to you, Nick, because we are going racing.
Didn't want to miss the first lap chaos.
And here we go in event number 2. We are across the line. Charles Saylor, again, from what we saw in event number 1, he's maintaining that position. Robin Borden once more sending it down the inside. It looks like Christopher Greer narrowly missed out contact with Charles Saylor. I did see Ed Berger having to avoid contact a bit. We are a lot further spread out this time, so I do think we are going to get away a little better than before. quickly move a little down there to just kind of maintain eye on the chaos. Pardon for the tongue twisting. It looks like Luca Conti and Jonathan Corkle are fighting it out. They're pretty close, followed by Nick Smoley, Aiden Benitez, Ed Berger, Giancarlo Lenzi, and Carter Close. Moving back up with the leaders once more. It looks like things are a little hectic on my end here, but we're going to go back, watch out in P22, P23. It looks like the grid is moving all over the place there. So unfortunately for ACC, we cannot trust it at the moment. Robin
And
Borden.
we have one off track already.
Do you know who it was?
Del Mundo.
Ah. Yep, I see him in the pits now. That's unfortunate. We did see him running an event number 1 amongst the GT4, so it's possible this might be one of his first events, so hopefully he can catch his bearings soon, and we'll see him running at the front. And it looks like Jonathan Corkle does get pushed out a bit there into the wall. I don't believe the contact was with Luca Conti. Let's go back once more to see what happened to Jonathan Corkle.
And Benitez is off track as well.
It looks like these guys are being more aggressive, as is tradition per event number 2. So it looks like Jonathan Corkle was able to get the inside line on Luca Conti. Aiden Benitez and Nick Smoley having a bit of a scuff, and it looks like he was not able to maintain the line on the outside, so that pushed Jonathan Corkle down behind Nick Smoley, as it looks like he was right in front of his teammate there, Ed Berger. As we go back to Jonathan Corkle live, and we look at Giancarlo Lenzi fighting the position from Carter Close, as Steve Fisher has moved back, as he's now running in front of James Turnbull. Moving up once more with the leaders, Charles Saylor is maintaining the position. Clark Muller close behind in P2. Christopher Greer now fighting with Luca Conti for P3. Luca Conti making a move down the inside. Christopher Greer has opened it up a bit, but he's closing it back. Christopher Greer now moving on the inside, very strategic, as he knew if you let him on the inside line, he was going to have the best possible exit coming out of the next turn. Luca Conti.
We have a new leader in the.
Go ahead.
Oops, sorry about that.
No,
we got
go
a
ahead,
new leader in the GT4 class, as Jeffrey Bray is now in first in the GT4s. And Harrison Lynn is falling back to the last of the GT4s. Something there I'd missed. I didn't see what happened.
Fantastic job there by Jeffrey Bray, as we normally see him behind Harrison Lynn, so I'm sure he's smiling today.
Yeah, he's going to take advantage of this, I'm sure. And Robin Borden is off.
Oh, he is moved back down so far. That's unfortunate for Robin. We're going to go back to the top, as there was a lot of close racing. It looks like Luca Conti has taken the spot from Christopher Greer. Christopher Greer is moving down into the 4th slot. And unfortunately for Nick Smoley, that is a lot of damage on the rear end. Looks like a lot of love taps there for Nick Smoley, unfortunately. Ed Berger making a move, Vicente da Silva making a move there on K-Tai. K-Tai fighting it back. It looks like they went a little off track. Ed Berger not giving it up. I think K-Tai is definitely looking for vengeance here, as he did lose out a lot in event number 1.
And Nick Smoley is dropping like a rock.
It looks like he caught there a lot of grass, and he just can't find a place to rejoin.
Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking.
Oh, that's terrible. From 5th place into 26, he just cannot rejoin there, as it looks like he might have room there behind Aiden Benitez and Tim Dimitri. That's all the way back in front of the GT4s. That's last place for the GT3s for Nick Smoley.
And he spins it again. He must have some damage. He's not being able to. And now he's getting passed by the GT4s. He's got to have a lot of front end damage.
Yeah, we did see that he had a lot of contact in the rear, and can't imagine how unstable that car must feel at the moment. Charles Saylor doing a good job of defending from Clark Muller at the first place position at the moment. Clark a lot closer than we saw him in round one. Now, Clark did make the overtake in event number 1, so I don't think that he's too scared. I believe he's going to find his opening, as these guys are very consistent. So we're going to return back to them in a bit as we go ahead and look at Christopher Greer in P4. So far, so good for him. He's running with clean air. Mr. Universe moving up into that 5th slot, as Nick Smoley has given up pretty much 20 positions altogether. Carter defending from Giancarlo Lenzi. We saw these two guys racing very close in last event. Giancarlo.
Looks like Brian Nagy's having a good run. He's up to 11th already.
Let's go ahead and move on to Brian, as it looks like he's racing now with K-Ty as he goes side by side. Ruggiero and Welzel making a bit of contact, and it looks like they have made a bit more contact than expected, as Rob Ruggiero has moved down. We're going to play the replay. It looks like Rob started out ahead of Doug as he was hunting down Brian Nagy. Coming into the turn, everything was good. We saw a little bit of late braking by Doug, and it's possible that that's what led to this somewhat lunge on the inside. It looks like, unfortunately, he might have caught out a bit of gravel or track, sorry. It looked like he had a lot of movement in the rear suspension, and that somewhat sent him there into the rear of Rob Ruggiero.
That's
Rob,
unfortunate.
now fighting there with, pardon his name, I forgot there, the GTR. A lot of cars tonight.
Yes, it is. And now Harrison Lynn, he's on the charge. He's come back to second in his GT4 class. He's trying to run down Jeffrey Bray, and he's about the front stretch. Yes, Bray's entering turn 1. Harrison Lynn is now coming in. I think he wants that first place win again for the GT4 class.
You know, with the level of consistency we see from Harrison, I don't believe it won't be impossible, but Jeffrey Bray is as consistent, so it's going to be a tough battle, especially with Robin Borden close behind in P29. That might stall up Harrison Lynn just a bit. And it doesn't seem like Harrison Lynn wants to let go of that fight. He does not want to let Robin Borden pass. Now, it's possible that in this kind of through this sector, he just feels like it's not the best or the optimal place to allow Robin Borden to get by. Now, he's not on under blue flag, so they're pretty much somewhat racing, even though it's different classes. So I do believe that he has to let him pass, and hopefully there he breaks a little earlier. But it does not look like Harrison Lynn wants to let him pass at all. Harrison Lynn there fighting with the GT3 of Robin Borden. He is definitely aggressive as he attempts to make that move against Jeffrey Bray. Robin Borden trying to make a move down the inside, trying to get the overtake. Somewhat cooks it, gets very close to Harrison Lynn, but they manage any contact there. So a bit aggressive from Harrison, but we have seen that he even though in a GT4, he's not going to let these guys bully him on track.
You got to feel bad for Robin Borden tonight. He's had a tough luck tonight.
We're going to move back once more with Charles Saylor. So far, so good in that P1 slot. Definitely defending from Clark Muller. Luca Conti close behind. And it seems like we have shifted back into our traditional pattern. Luca, unfortunately, going a little wide there as Jonathan Corkle seems to have caught up. But it looks like Jonathan Corkle is a lapped car, unfortunately, as P4 is Christopher Greer. But it seems like we've fallen into that pattern where the cars are a lot spaced out now in the front, and the midfield holds the battle, as it looks like Carter Close is really defending against P5 there, as James Turnbull has gotten past Giancarlo Lenzi, followed by Steve Fisher. Nick, how's it going, man? I have not spoken to you in quite a bit.
Yeah, well, you've had a lot going on. I think you'd make a good auctioneer.
I don't know about that. As you can tell, I get tongue twisted fairly quickly. But it's
No,
just the
you're doing a great
excitement of
job.
racing. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it, buddy. But Nick, I pass the reins to you now. Take us on track with Carter.
Yeah, I don't have the enthusiasm for that, but
Well, you know what,
but it.
Nick, give us your analytical commentary. What do you see right now? Will James
I see a
Turnbull
lot
make
of
the move?
excitement. Oh, he's going to try, that's for sure. And he's done caught Carter close. And Jonathan Corkle's in front of them. I think he is a lap down, though. Yeah, he's a lap down.
That's
But I'll
quite a
tell you,
crazy shift there.
race two, they're getting after it. Oh, yeah.
What how would you feel there being in Steve Fisher's position as you just finished event number 1 in P2 and now you're a lap down?
Yeah, Jonathan Corkle. Yeah, that's tough. You know, like I said, he was that probably give him the race one where he finished real high, probably give him a lot of confidence and made him really hungry for that win, and might have got caught pushing it a little too hard, and it's cost him early on in race two.
Yeah, it's possible. And it's he's a great driver, but it was definitely interesting to see him so far up very quickly relative from his last race. So I think he had a great charge there at the start of the lap, and that allowed him to maintain position, and being a consistent driver allowed him to keep it. But I think that that someone possibly gave him a bit of overconfidence moving into event number 2, and these guys just have been unrelenting. And I was speculating that hopefully they'd be a little more conservative coming into event number 2, but that does not look like it's the case. It seems like event number 2 is when the gloves come off.
Oh yeah, they're like the rest of us. We all want to win, and I tell you, these drivers in this fun league, it might be called the fun league, but these are some good drivers. A lot of them are really fast and they're real intense. So if if you run top 10, top 15 in this league with these guys, that's something to be proud of because there's a lot of quick guys here.
We saw there James Turnbull going side by side with Carter close into the chicane. It unfortunately there for James, the move did not pay off, and he has lost a bit of time there to Carter, as Giancarlo Lenzi almost had a line on him as well. It looks like this battle for the moment might be somewhat stale. We're going to go ahead and move further back as we see Steve Fisher and Vicente da Silva running close behind. We're going to check back on them in a second. Doug Welzel having a lot of clean air, followed by Brian Nagy. As Brian is being chased by a couple cars there, we see Davin Sturdivant and Raz Shaw closely behind, as well as Martin Warmington, followed by Jason Ouellette. I definitely do
Oh
think...
no.
What happened, Nick?
Oh, Del Mondo has spun again, and I think Moeller has got a piece of that.
That's unfortunate.
Oh no, that's got to be tough. That's got to be tough because he was right there with Sabler, and I'm afraid he's got some damage from that now.
Wow, that was a lot of air there from Paul Del Mondo as he was trying to get past Jeremiah Daly, and unfortunately, it looks like he was on the brakes, but possibly not enough as he slid backwards on track into Clark Muller, who was just in the perfect position. Unfortunately, there that was tough for Clark. Charles Saylor now can't breathe a little, although I'm sure he experienced that Code Brown himself. But it looks like he will have a little bit of clean air there as Luca Conti is further back. Fortunately, it does look like Clark is still racing. He has lost a bit of time, but it doesn't look like it's affected his racing much. I did see the lights on Paul's car, so it's possible that there was just a lot of momentum that carried him over onto the track. Hopefully, for Clark there, it didn't impact too much of his aerodynamics, which by the look of his car, it does seem to be intact fairly well.
Yeah, he might not have got too much damage from that, but he's lost a lot of time. And now he's running third. Oh, that's got to be frustrating.
If Christopher Greer has an imaginary engineer in his ear, I'm pretty sure he's hearing the lines, push now, push now. Clark Muller has damage.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Davin Sturdivant closely behind. It looks like now he is our highest running Lexus bro. If you guys are unfamiliar, Jonathan Corkle, Davin Sturdivant, Steve Fishers, our Lexus trio, otherwise known as Lexus Bros. Now, sorry, pardon, it does look like the car I was mistaken for Davin is the car of Jonathan Corkle, who was just lapped there by Christopher Greer. Davin Sturdivant, unfortunately, is further behind in P12 as we move into P5 with Carter Close, maintaining the battle with Giancarlo Lenzi and James Turnbull. Giancarlo seeming to have moved into P6, getting a nice overtake on James Turnbull. I think Mr. Universe is another driver out for vengeance tonight.
Yeah, he had a tough race in the first one. I think he went at least 2 laps down at one point. But now he's up in 5th, so he's having a good second race here. So, and he may catch Greer in front of him.
And it seems like Giancarlo there is going to have a better exit than Carlos. Carlos seemed like he did have a bit of wheel lock as he went into the turn.
Now, if we look back, we're going to have a battle for the GT4 leaders with Jeffrey Bray and Harrison Lynn.
Moving on back with Jeffrey and Harrison. Harrison has cut up a lot. And it's possible that this pass here, it looks like, I believe that is Christopher Greer getting past. It looks like Harrison Lynn trying to attempt to get a toe. Not enough as Jeffrey Bray defends the inside and he overcooks it into the turn, allowing Harrison to get past.
Oh no, just one little mistake and it cost him. It cost him dearly.
Let's watch that back, because that was fantastic strategy from Harrison Lynn. He saw the Ferrari of Christopher Greer, and as he allowed him, and we saw him race with Robin Borden, he was not willing to give up the position. He would have not given up this position to Robin Borden, but it looks like he decided to catch a toe as Christopher Greer got past, and that definitely allowed him to have a better move, even allowing Jonathan Corkle to get past. Unfortunately for Jeff, he was not able to defend as he was put in a very hard position there by Harrison.
Yeah, that was very smart of Harrison Lynn on that one. I think he knew he could use one of them GT3 cars. And he caused Jeffrey Bray to make a mistake by doing that.
I think in that situation, Jeff would have been better off just defending from the GT3 as well. Even though it would have cost him and the GT3 some time, he would have kept the position, but it's a little tough, especially knowing Christopher Greer was behind, as we've seen him kick around a couple GT4s on track.
Yeah, you got to make decisions so quickly when you're racing. It's hard to make the right decision every time when you have to make it so quickly. And he just ended up on the wrong side of that one, so I hate it for Jeffrey Bray.
We can clearly see it here with Harrison Lynn, as that move was definitely intentional to let Christopher Greer pass, as we saw him get around turn 15 with Giancarlo Lenzi maintaining it flat out as he went across. And props to Giancarlo for threading the needle there. Harrison Lynn has proven tonight he is very aggressive in that GT4. We're going to head and move back up as Doug seems to get past him now. Carter close, maintaining his P5 position as Giancarlo and James Turnbull have traded positions once more. Further up on the grid, Charles Saylor in P1 as he's gotten a huge lead from Luca Conti, but Luca Conti able to keep Clark Muller at bay. Christopher Greer close behind, and unfortunately there for Jonathan Corkle, he's just in a tantalizing position where he's in that P5 slot, but unfortunately he is a lap down, so while he is racing, it's kind of a bittersweet place to be.
I see Brian Nagy still running in 11th place. That's a pretty good run for him. If I'm not mistaken, he finished outside of the top 20 in race 1, so he's got a good run going in race 2.
Yeah, it did seem like he was somewhat around P24 when we saw him across the line. Actually, if I do believe correctly, I believe he was lapped, so he did not cross the line. So far, so good, as he is followed by Davin Sturdivant. Hopefully they are able to make the move here on Jeff Bray, as he is in a similar situation that we saw earlier. Fortunately, this time there is no Harrison, as he allows Davin Sturdivant to move down the inside. Davin now having clean air to catch a tail from Brian and hopefully aim for a nice overtake. As we go into turn 3, everybody keeping it clean, keeping it tight and locked. Ready to move back just a little more. Rash Shaw fighting it out with Jason Ouellette. And it looks like Jeff Bray is going to get caught up in some more GT traffic. And it looks like Rash Shaw attempted to move on the inside but was not able to make it. Jason Ouellette now having a lot more air to follow behind as he now gets past Jeff Bray, and they both do, but it looks like Jason Ouellette's going to have a faster exit, but it looks like Pete Stepani in the Aston is making a move as well to join the fight. Into the chicane they go. Nick, if you look at this into P13, we have an interesting situation. We have 4 Astons as they unfortunately gang up on the Merc of Jeff Bray. We have them leading Rash Shaw, Jason Ouellette, Pete Stepani, and Aiden Benitez. What a crazy thing to see all the Astons grouped up in one place. It reminds me of last night where we had all the Astons, the lime green Astons, grouped up in the back.
Yeah, they were all in on the same team meeting, I believe.
We're going to head and come back to this fight with our 4 Astons. We're going to go and move up just a bit. I did see somewhat of a fight there with, I believe it was Brian and Davin, as they both got past Harrison Lynn. The gap has steadily decreased from Brian Nagy. Davin Sturdivant making a charge in the Lexus. Nick, would you say there's any bit of a speed difference between these 2 cars?
Yeah, I believe there is. I think the Lexus it's got a good top end speed, but I do believe the McLaren, I think it corners a lot better. I think you can get a little more grip in it. But the Lexus, I think it's got a little more power. It's a little more acceleration, a little more top end, but you're not going to see much top end at Zandvoort, so that's going to be tricky.
This fight has dissipated slightly. We're going to head back as the battle is raging on with the Astons as they all try to get past Harrison Lynn. Jason Ouellette and Rash Shaw fighting at the top as Aiden Benitez does go wide, as I believe he gets past Steve Stepani. Pete Stepani, not Steve Stepani. Rashaw and Jason Ouellette making almost some slight contact as Jason Ouellette moves down the inside. Aiden Benitez attempting to move as well through turn 15. Rashaw having to move further back. He's gonna behind Harrison Lynn. That's gonna allow 3 Aston Martins to get by him. We have Jason Ouellette making the move on Harrison Lynn into turn 1. Aiden Benitez and Pete Stepani coming in together on the inside line. Oh, and they all made contact.
He was late getting on the brakes there, and it caused a lot of problems.
Well, you know, Nick, we discussed our simple maths last week, and 4 cars in 1 turn, it don't add up.
Yeah, that never ends well for anybody.
We're watching the replay right now as we see the 4 Astons just group up around like a hive of bees around that BMW.